Myself and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him, with friends possessed.
For decades, the world believed Dame Judi Dench held no grudges. She was Britain's untouchable national treasure, warm, gracious, and endlessly forgiving. On stage and on screen, she commanded silence and admiration, appearing untouched by bitterness in an industry driven by ego. But behind the elegance was a truth she rarely shared. Now at 90, with nothing left to prove, Judi Dench has begun speaking quietly about the moments that tested her patience, actors who dismissed her experience, directors who mocked her instincts, colleagues who mistook kindness for weakness. She could endure pressure and survive towering egos, but she never forgot disrespect. Over the years, several incidents lingered: a famous actor humiliating her in rehearsal, a co-star treating her like a novice, a director dismissing her ideas publicly, and even a fellow national treasure turning disagreement into lasting fracture. She never forgave 6 moments that changed how she chose her collaborators, 6 names she kept at a distance and wounds she refused to reopen. Once you learn who they were and what happened, you may never view their shared work the same way again. Subscribe now for more untold stories and behind-the-scenes truths about the legends you thought you knew. Daniel Day-Lewis, icons on a collision course. No one saw it coming. Judi Dench, keeping her cool distance from Daniel Day-Lewis. To everyone watching from the outside, these two were untouchable icons of British cinema, standing tall at opposite ends of the artistic spectrum. Dench was all about clarity, control, and elegant precision, while Day-Lewis dove so deep into his roles it sometimes felt like he vanished completely into them. When they finally came together on set, admiration turned into tension faster than anyone expected. Dench approached the script with her steady, polished discipline, every pause and gesture planned to perfection. Day-Lewis, on the other hand, walked in already living as his character, speaking and moving like someone else entirely, never breaking out of that transformation, not even between takes. She respected his dedication, but quietly drew a line. There had to be limits when one person's process started taking over the whole room. Midway through the shoot, everything cracked open. One morning, Dench greeted the crew with her usual warmth, but Day-Lewis, buried in character, completely ignored her. When she calmly suggested an adjustment for a shared scene, he didn't respond to Judi Dench at all. He spoke only to the character she was playing, as if the real person standing in front of him didn't exist. The moment stunned everyone watching. From that day forward, Dench was acting opposite someone who refused to see her unless the camera was rolling. Conversations faded, scenes dragged far longer than planned, and the air on set grew colder with every take. The final straw came during a raw, emotional scene. Dench asked to discuss pacing beforehand, a simple request, but Day-Lewis refused flatly, claiming that truth only exists under pressure. She stayed composed in public, but inside, something in her had snapped. For Judi Dench, true collaboration meant trust and balance. What she endured instead felt like isolation dressed up as brilliance. She never spoke against him in interviews and still praised his extraordinary skill, but privately, her choice was firm. She would never again work on a set ruled by someone else's extremes. Maggie Smith, a friendship the public believed in. To the public, Judi Dench and Maggie Smith looked like the very definition of friendship, 2 legendary icons whose laughter felt timeless, their bond seemingly unshakable. But inside the theater world, one unforgettable afternoon changed everything forever. It happened during rehearsals for a major West End production in the late 1980s. Dench, always precise and respectful, paused to ask a simple question about the emotional rhythm of a scene. It was routine, something she'd done countless times before, but that day the air shifted. Maggie Smith suddenly turned toward her, eyes sharp, and in front of everyone declared, "If you want to direct the play, Judi, just say so." The words landed like a slap. The room froze in stunned silence. Dench wasn't shaken by creative disagreement. She had lived through plenty of those. What stung was the public nature of the remark. the sudden sting of being dismissed before her peers. From then on, something delicate between them cracked. On stage, they were flawless professionals, but off stage, an invisible wall stood between them. Judi Dench never confronted her about that moment. Instead, she quietly chose a different path, one where their names would never again appear on the same project. Kenneth Branagh's mentor and protege. Kenneth Branagh had once been Judi Dench's bright young protege, the rising star she believed in, mentored, and proudly encouraged as he began his remarkable climb. Their early collaborations were celebrated as a perfect balance of wisdom and energy, a beautiful blend of experience meeting fearless ambition. But that harmony shattered during rehearsals for a bold Shakespeare adaptation. Dench came prepared, her script marked with layers of insight, each note reflecting decades of mastery. Branagh, now carried by the momentum of sudden fame, pushed her aside in front of everyone, insisting she abandon her careful method and trust spontaneity and youthful instinct instead. The words echoed through the room, leaving a sharp sting that couldn't be ignored. It wasn't the disagreement that cut deep, it was the sheer lack of respect. From that day forward, something between them cooled for good. When filming ended, future invitations never came. In interviews that followed, Dench mentioned Branagh with courtesy but no affection. To her, the student had made it painfully clear he no longer saw a mentor, only himself as the master. Steve Coogan, worlds collide. Steve Coogan came from a completely different creative world, and his short time working with Judi Dench left a far deeper mark than anyone ever imagined. During their early rehearsals, Dench, always meticulous, was unpacking the emotional structure of a scene with quiet focus. Out of nowhere, Coogan cut in with a smirk, joking that audiences weren't looking for a dissertation. The room erupted in polite laughter, except for Dench, who stayed perfectly still, her face unreadable. Later, during a rewrite session, Coogan took things even further. With an easy grin, he suggested trimming one of her monologues, laughing that the film needed less lecturing and more charm. Dench slowly closed her script, said absolutely nothing, and the silence that followed said it all. Everyone present felt the tension tighten. A boundary had been crossed in full view. When the project finally wrapped, Dench never mentioned his name again, except when absolutely necessary. For her, silence wasn't avoidance. It was judgment delivered with precision. Harvey Weinstein, praise with strings attached. Harvey Weinstein praised Judi Dench publicly and positioned himself as one of her greatest supporters. Privately, he attempted to control her. During an award season meeting, Dench questioned a campaign tactic she felt distorted her work. Weinstein leaned back and told her, "Judi, leave the thinking to us, you just show up." She stood up and walked out. From that moment on, she imposed firm boundaries and never trusted him again. Long before his public downfall, Dench had already seen enough. Richard Eyre, public admiration, private reality. Harvey Weinstein often praised Judi Dench in public, calling her one of the finest actors alive and positioning himself as her greatest champion. But behind closed doors, the reality was far less flattering. His support came with strings attached. During one tense award season meeting, Dench calmly raised concerns about a campaign strategy she felt twisted the meaning of her performance. Weinstein leaned back, smirking, and said, "Judi, leave the thinking to us, you just show up." The arrogance in his tone stunned everyone around them. Without a word, Dench rose from her seat and walked straight out of the room. From that day forward, her boundaries were ironclad, polite in public, but privately resolute. Long before his public fall, Judi Dench had already seen exactly who he was. 6 names, 6 clashes, 6 unforgettable moments that shattered the calm image of a woman long admired for her poise. Judi Dench built her legacy on dignity, discipline, and deep respect, values she never compromised. And when that respect vanished, even for a moment, the bond was gone for good. The public adored her warmth, her elegance, her grace, but behind the curtain lived something far stronger, memory. And for Judi Dench, memory never faded, never softened, never forgave. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment below. See you on the next one.